The Old Woman Who Chose Hope. Long ago, in a peaceful little village surrounded by lush green fields and towering banyan trees, there lived an elderly woman named Savitri. Everyone in the village lovingly called her Grandmother Savi. Her silver hair shimmered in the morning sunlight. Her face carried the gentle lines of a life well lived, and her warm brown eyes were always filled with kindness. No matter what hardships came her way, she greeted each day with a calm smile. Grandmother Savi lived alone in a tiny clay cottage beside an ancient banyan tree. Her husband had passed away many years earlier, and she had no children, yet she never complained about her loneliness. Every dawn she swept the front yard, watered her flowers, prepared a simple cup of tea, and sat beneath the banyan tree, watching the village slowly wake up. People often stopped by to speak with her. Strangely, they always left feeling lighter than when they had arrived. Life in the village was not easy. Farmers worked from sunrise until dusk. Mothers struggled to feed their families. Some years the rains failed, crops withered, and many families worried about tomorrow. Although laughter still echoed through the streets, fear quietly lived inside many hearts. One afternoon, a young woman named Mira walked toward Grandmother Savi's house. Her eyes were swollen from crying, and her shoulders drooped with exhaustion. "Grandmother," she whispered, "I don't know what to do anymore. My husband went to the city months ago to find work, but I haven't heard from him. My children sleep hungry, and every day I fear something terrible has happened." Grandmother Savi listened without interrupting. After a few moments, she gently asked, "Tell me, Mira, what fills your mind from morning until night?" Mira sighed. "I imagine the worst. I think my husband has forgotten us. I worry that life will only become harder. These thoughts never leave me." The old woman smiled softly. "My dear, when the mind becomes a home for fear, it forgets to make room for hope. But hope gives us strength to keep walking, even before life begins to change." Mira frowned. "But how can I think positively when everything around me feels so difficult?" Grandmother Savi folded her hands and began a story. Many years ago, a traveler lost everything during a terrible storm. His money disappeared, his belongings were swept away, and he found himself sitting beside a quiet river, believing his life was over. An old gardener happened to pass by. She asked him, "Why are you crying, my son?" The traveler replied, "Because I have nothing left." The gardener smiled gently. "Look around you. The river still sings its peaceful song. The trees still offer shade without asking for anything in return. The sky still gives you light. Your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, and your hands can still build a new future. As long as life remains within you, you are richer than you realize." The traveler looked around carefully for the first time. He noticed the cool breeze touching his face, the sparkling water flowing beside him, and the warmth of the sun resting on his shoulders. Something inside him changed. From that day onward, instead of counting what he had lost, he began appreciating what he still had. Slowly, his confidence returned. He found work, made new friends, and rebuilt his life not because miracles suddenly appeared, but because gratitude gave him the courage to keep moving. Grandmother Savi looked at Mira and said, "Do you see? His life changed the moment his thoughts changed." Mira remained silent for a while. Then she asked quietly, "Do you really believe my thoughts can influence my future?" The old woman nodded. Every morning, Before the world speaks to you, speak kindly to yourself. Say, "Today I will face whatever comes with courage." Those simple words won't remove every problem, but they will prepare your heart to overcome them. Mira took a deep breath. "I'll try. That is all life asks," Grandmother Savi replied. One hopeful step at a time. The next morning, Mira began a new habit. Every sunrise, she smiled and said, "Today is another chance. Something good can still happen." She continued caring for her children, worked hard, and refused to let fear control every thought. Whenever worry returned, she remembered Grandmother Savi's words and replaced fear with faith. Several weeks later, a village messenger arrived, carrying a letter. It was from her husband. He had finally secured a stable job in the city. Enclosed with the letter was money for the family, along with a promise that he would return home soon. Tears filled Mira's eyes. She rushed to Grandmother Savi's cottage. "You were right," she cried happily. "Everything is finally getting better." The old woman smiled. "I wasn't predicting your future, my child. I only wanted you to keep your heart strong until your future arrived." Word of Grandmother Savi's wisdom spread from village to village. People came seeking advice about sorrow, failure, fear, and uncertainty. She always gave them the same simple reminder: feed your mind with hope, not fear. A hopeful heart sees opportunities that fear can never recognize. Little by little, the village itself began to change. Neighbors helped one another more often. Families smiled even during difficult seasons. People worked with greater confidence instead of constant worry. Hardships still came, but they no longer stole everyone's peace. Grandmother Savi became known as the heart of the village, not because she possessed wealth or power, but because she reminded people that peace begins inside the mind. Life will always bring challenges we cannot control, but we can always choose the thoughts we nurture. Gratitude, hope, and faith do not erase difficulties. They give us the strength to rise above them. The way we think shapes the way we live. A peaceful mind creates a hopeful life, and every hopeful life begins with a single positive thought.